Hello, friends, and welcome. Hope you had a great holiday. We're back for the new year, excited about it. And I've been giving some thought as to what I wanted to shoot for the next video. And I really want to get into things that matter the most in the business. And it occurred to me, and something that I'm passionate about, is culture. And I've seen a lot of different cultures in my time, and I'm sure you have too, especially being in the restaurant biz. But I wanted to take us through a little bit of a culture journey today because I think it really lays the fabric for everything that our businesses are. And I want to do it in such a way that's outside of the traditional restaurant and bar space, yet still within hospitality. I want to talk to you about a company called Chick-fil-A. So if you live in the South, or really it's spread like wildfire across the U.S., Chick-fil-A is absolutely on fire. And I found myself going there every day, good or bad, whatever. I'm there almost on a daily basis. And it's fascinating to me because it's a fast food joint, right? And the food's good for sure. Love a good Chick-fil-A sandwich as much as the next guy. But I can get a Chick-fil-A sandwich, or I can get a chicken sandwich other places. So why the fascination with this joint? And while I was sitting in line one day, I looked across, and now keep in mind, Chick-fil-A, they've lost their minds, right? It's so busy, there's no time of day where they're not busy. It's just, how busy is it gonna be? And during lunch and dinner hours, there are double and triple drive-through lines. The place down the street from my house has a traffic cop in the parking lot for lunch. And it's not a small parking lot. So absolutely bananas, right? Okay, so let's get back to it. So I'm sitting in line. There's 15, 20 cars in line waiting for fast food that they're not getting fast. Meanwhile, right there is a fast food joint with nobody in line. Nobody. You can go right there and get your food right now. Yet, people are choosing to sit in line to get this stuff, right? So, I've been thinking about this for a long time. Like, what's the deal? Well, in that line, here's the reality of it. In that line, there are 6 people who are going to personally take your order. Cash your card, what do you have? And you place your order with a human being. And then you drive around the corner, and then sometimes that person takes your money, and then sometimes when you drive around the corner, there's a dedicated person to take your money. But in these transactions, each one of them, they capture this essence of, it seems like it is absolutely their pleasure to take care of you. And when you get to the drive-through window and some nice person hands you your bag of food and they say, "Have a nice day," they seem to mean it. People are happy. They're authentic. It's absolutely amazing. And then I look across the street and in my mind, I'm thinking there's a group of people looking over at these people going, "Thank God I don't have to work that hard," right? That's what they're thinking. Hence, there's nobody in that drive-thru and nobody's making the adjustment. It's almost un-American not to be making this adjustment. I mean, Chick-fil-A is absolutely robbing the fast food industry of its revenue. Now, we got to go a little further with this story because heaven forbid you go inside Chick-fil-A. So let's say you're having a day, as I do sometimes, where you just want a break and you think like going inside a fast food restaurant, you think of as a break. They've cracked the code. So you go in, and again, you're always greeted kindly, always with a smile. People are authentically happy to serve. And they'll get you your drink, but your food may not be ready because, of course, they're busy as all hell. And you're going to go sit down, and then some nice old lady brings me out my food. As if it's the most awesome thing in her day. And as I'm eating my food, 5 minutes later, she comes by and takes my tray and asks if she can get me a refill of sweet tea. Look, I'm coming back over and over and over again. And for the longest time, man, I didn't even know why. Now, Chick-fil-A's been around since 1964. I had to take notes, hang on. 1946. Chick-fil-A's been around since 1946. It hasn't always been like this, has it? I mean, I grew up, there was a Chick-fil-A in the mall where I grew up in the 80s. So it's been around, man. There was no massive line at the Chick-fil-A at the mall. So what's happened? Well, culture's happened. That's a long way of saying this is what happens when you really crush culture, and when the culture you create in your business is all about that guest experience and it's differentiated from anything else you can get out there, you win, and you win big. I want to read you a quote that I found because I went and did some research on this. I was like, what changed? Like, what happened with this thing? How did Chick-fil-A take over the world? And this is the quote I found. Now, Truett Cathy is the original founder in 1946. Half the people that now work for Chick-fil-A were hired since his passing. So this culture brand, the way this has taken off, has happened since the founder has departed this earth, right? Sadly, right? And his son's taken over. And this is his son's quote, Dan Cathy. How we can distinguish ourselves, not just with the taste of our menu items, but in terms of really being customer-centric and customer-focused through honor, dignity, and respect. People today are even more starving for that than they are the Chick-fil-A sandwich. And that to me was the aha. That's it. It's not the Chick-fil-A sandwich, even though it's good. It's not the sweet tea. It's not the waffle fries. All of it's good, right? But that doesn't make you sit in line for 8.5 minutes when I could get fast food over here right now. It's how they make you feel. And it's the culture that they create. And it's really, it's a testament to culture. So let's pull this in real quick. What's it mean for us in the bar and restaurant business? Look, all these same rules apply for this as much as, if not more, than Chick-fil-A. So questions that you may want to ask yourself. Again, I had to take some notes because I wanted to make sure I got this right. This is a little bigger one. Do you have a culture? Can you define it? Does your culture represent your values and your vision for the business, or are those two separate? There's a lot of owners out there that have a vision and what they want, but then there's how the business actually performs, and you got to close the gap. So are you able to cast your vision and, frankly, enforce your vision and fight for the vision and culture that you want for your business? How does your business behave when you're not there? So Truett Cathy passed away a few years ago. Half the people that work for Chick-fil-A now didn't work there when he did. And I can't tell you how active he was in his later years, but look at how the business is performing since his passing. What a powerful statement it is that the culture not only maintained, but improved, that it magnified and amplified and is turning into this amazing experience and incredible business results. And then the final question I would ask is, what is your legacy? Are you thinking as a business owner, especially in bars and restaurants? Bars and restaurants have lots of legacy, lots of history, lots of memories. What are you going to be known for? So I just found this to be a fascinating study. And I'm in that place or through that drive-through almost on a daily basis. And I watch the lack of adjustment and the lack of learning from the competitors and what they've done from a cultural perspective to really drive results. And it blows me away. And how the people behave in the business, to me, is a direct reflection of what their founder would have wanted for the business all those years ago. So, are you doing that work? If you need help doing that work, you can reach out to us. That's something that we do. We love culture building, but I don't do sales pitches. We just put this out into the ether to help people and to see where it takes them. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you would subscribe, that's awesome. If you're watching us on the Barmetrix page, thank you. You can like and follow that, however that stuff works. I'm not always dialed into that. And we just wrote The Bar Shift, Dave Domzowski and I. So if you're looking for a book that has a little bit more content like this in it, you can visit us at thebarshift.com and grab a book and read away. So thanks for watching. I always appreciate your attention, and go get a sandwich.